vendors, one of our farmers from Cap Daily LLC, Teddy Kalzicki. Teddy, Dodie, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Bob.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, so indoor market is underway. I think it's been a couple weeks now.
It has been 6 weeks we took off after Christmas. Overwhelming response from last year was that after that Christmas rush was over, it was rough. So we went ahead and gave everybody 6 weeks off, which is really the first time they've had off in, well, going on 3 years. So a little hiatus.
Farmers don't get a day
They
off.
sure do not. Nick
Yep.
Seffernick was beside himself. Didn't know what to do.
So Teddy, you, I smell mushrooms. Is that what we have here today?
Yeah, so we got some blue oyster mushrooms here. That's one of the species we sell at the market. So we sell about 10 species overall, and kind of depending on the need from our restaurants is kind of what we're growing at the time and what we're able to bring to the market.
So I can think of, pizza, a stew. Are there a lot of uses for mushrooms?
Oh, absolutely. So mushrooms can be pretty much swapped out with your main protein on the dish.
Is there protein in mushrooms?
Oh yeah, yep. There's a fair amount.
Really?
Yep. So and they also have tons of fiber, phytonutrients as well. So yeah, it's a great. Mushrooms are kind of like an in-between between a plant and an animal. They breathe oxygen just like us. So they have these vast mycelium networks under the forest floor. I could talk about mushrooms for days, but
do you talk to them?
I do not. I do not. But yeah, in terms of growing them, we're able to commercially cultivate them year-round. So we don't have quite as many hurdles as other farmers.
Because you can grow them like in the basement.
Yeah, we can grow them in the basement. We can grow them in big warehouses.
Very shiny caps.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, this is the cap, and for the oyster mushrooms, these are the gills underneath. That's where they release their spores.
They're breathing. Are they breathing right now?
They're breathing right now. So they're breathing in oxygen, releasing carbon dioxide, just like us.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do all mushrooms? See, I'm not. I like mushrooms on things like pizza, but I don't think a lot about them. Mm-hmm. Are they all the same?
They're not all the same. So they do have different tastes, and depending on the way you cook them, boiling them. I always try and get a nice sear on them to kind of release that umami flavor. But yeah, they all have very subtle different tastes. Lion's mane, for example. You can kind of shred those. People say they taste like crab. I've been allergic to seafood for many years. So I've forgotten what that tastes like, but I guess it does have a little bit of a taste like crab. So,
Dodie, do you like mushrooms?
I love mushrooms, and we were just talking about it in the room beforehand. Personally, it was one thing when I started the market, the plant-based menu that people are looking for, the desire for that is just booming. I mean, people are wanting to get healthier. They're trying to look for different alternatives to meat and things like that. In a plant-based diet, the mushrooms are essential. Like you said, they're just an essential replacement for so many things.
And so you personally are plant-based diet.
Yes. Yep. I am. Yeah. I originally went to that to help with a lot of health issues, which it did, and that's kind of how I got started. Kind of shifting my kind of career trajectory into kind of
really it changed your career.
It did. Yeah. I got very, very sick and kind of turned to a big diet change, a whole food plant-based diet. Reversed a lot of what was going on with me and gave back a lot of quality of life.
So you could have gone, to carrots and all the other plants, but you chose mushrooms. Was it something about mushrooms that had some sort of draw for you?
Yeah, so there's a lot of compounds in mushrooms, beta-glucans being one of them, that help stimulate the immune system. That's kind of what I was struggling with my immune system. Mm-hmm. So it kind of helped rebalance my immune system. So
I would think people that aren't familiar with mushrooms, like me, I wouldn't know what to do. I would buy them and I'd slice them up and put them on a thing.
Yep. So yeah, so I always tell people that are new to, especially gourmet mushrooms, like the oysters and the lion's mane, the shiitake. If you treat them just like meat, you're going to have that same kind of flavors that you're used to and those same textures, because they are kind of that in-between organism between a animal and a plant.
I can smell mushroom.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So boiled, since they're living and breathing, do you drop them in like a lobster into the pot of the
No, we don't do that. No.
And if anybody has questions, I mean, that's part of the reason why it's so nice to have somebody knowledgeable on staff.
I would have a million questions
Yeah,
for you.
you can walk right up to him at the market. He can tell you whatever you need to know, how to cook them, maybe even some cooking demonstrations this summer.
Oh,
You'll see
cool.
Ted,
Yeah.
Yep, may have some of those. But he can tell you, you can walk up, absolutely get all that knowledge about it.
And we all know that you can pick up a poison mushroom if you don't know what you're doing out in the forest,
Exactly.
right?
Yep.
So that keeps probably a lot of people away from them.
Yeah, exactly. America is unfortunately a very mycophobic society. Whereas you look at Europeans, that's kind of their culture. They grow up going out with their grandparents foraging wild mushrooms. So by the time someone over there is 10 years old, they already know 30 species of safe mushrooms to harvest. So yeah, that's part of what I'm trying to do is change the narrative and get more people interested in trying mushrooms. So.
What's the most amazing thing that you can share with our viewers today about mushrooms as it relates to food?
The most amazing thing is just their versatility. So you can essentially replace them for so many things, and depending on the species, you can really get creative with them and do some pretty cool things with them. So
People might not even know they're eating a mushroom.
Yeah.
Sometimes that people with venison, they'll do that. Oh, you're eating venison.
Yep.
And people don't like that,
Right.
but they're harmless, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So you do have to cook them.
You have to cook them.
Yeah. So you're not going to get any nutritional benefits from eating them raw.
Really?
So the cell structure of a mushroom is such that we can't really digest them. We used to be able to when our gut bacteria was different, but now we do need to cook them to kind of break down that cell wall.
Just the opposite of like green beans, because if you cook them, you cook the nutrients.
Right.
They
Right.
say.
Yep. So.
So how many mushrooms will you have like at the next?
Yeah, so we'll probably have like 3 to 4 species for sale, and then we usually bring around 20 to 30 pounds with us. We'll sometimes sell out, sometimes we won't. But
Now, do you sell them like they come in a block? Like
no,
this?
so this is how we grow them. Yeah,
Okay.
this is how we grow them. So these are hardwood-loving mushrooms. So this is hardwood sawdust mixed with actually soybean hulls for additional nutrients. Because the white stuff you're seeing is the mycelium structure. So that is the bulk of the organism. That's where their digestive system is. That's where they release all the enzymes to digest and absorb their food around them. And this is kind of just essentially the reproductive part of the
Amazing.
Yep.
I never knew. Now, and you look trim and healthy, so this could be, I would say, maybe a selling point for someone to have a healthy diet if they want to lose weight.
The more fiber, the more plants and mushrooms you can be consuming during the week, the better off you're going to be.
And it gives you the protein.
Yep.
Awesome.
So.
All right. Well, and can people see you somewhere else besides Farmers Market Day?
Yeah. So I actually own my own business. And I'm working with the community right now to try and get the word out about mushrooms and just all their benefits. So.
Awesome. Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.